Now, for further insight, a political analyst, Mr. Deyemi Saka, joins us live in our studios in Lagos. Welcome to Newsroom Series.
It's nice to be here.
It obviously begs the question, why is the continuous voter registration exercise crucial for the strengthening of democracy ahead of the 2027 general elections?
It's very simple and obvious because that gives room for inclusivity of people that were not captured at the last dispensation. And it strengthens democracy because each demography of our population is, reflected. The political wills, yearnings, and aspiration is reflected at the end of the day at the new dispensation. But I would like it to address some people that were not up to 18 at the 2023 elections, and by the time you have an election that has, new people on board, you have a government representing the will and aspiration of people across board, either at the state level, at the state assembly level, or the federal level. So it's good for strengthening democracy because it gives the perspective of everybody's involved and everybody's interest is protected during the elections or after the elections, and the government or governance that will be offered at the end of the day.
This may have you to state the obvious, but why the big head start? Why now? Why so early?
Well, so early, and I guess it says continuous, so we probably expect it to be until maybe when INEC probably want to shut down the window to tidy up the database towards the elections, come out with voter registration. It's not too early for me and for if anybody that loves Nigeria democracy. It's good enough and it's timely because what I would like it on 2023 till date is it's just 2 years, but it's not just a little time to overlook. People get older by the day. People get, we give birth to new people. People die. That's a sad reality we have to face. So we need to just do that to update our register.
Now, for first-time voters, how does CVR ensure that most eligible Nigerians, especially first-time voters, are included in the electoral process?
Well, I've seen INEC representatives, advertising or pushing good advertisement of the program and the policy, the ongoing process, and with the way they started, I think it will be easier for these young voters, those who call Gen Zs, to come on board because there's a bit of technology which they introduced in 2022. Because that was so. But for me, we still need to demand for more. Maybe within the course of the conversation, probably might speak to that fact why I believe as a person that INEC has been intellectually lazy since 2019.
Why?
Why? I remember in 2022, I had a similar conversation. I was on a platform that had Festus Okoye on the other side, then was the head of the voters' education. And I remember I said, why is INEC so much in this marriage of hardship with Nigerians? You probably will sit down in your room and you could sign up and open and I start putting an account with any digital bank. Why does INEC have to make it so cumbersome for me that I have to complete a phase of the registration, technologically, probably, remotely, and I have to go in person to some place to probably go register, complete the process? At that time, Festus Okoye said is the law. And they have to work within the ambits of the law and what have you. But 4 years ago is enough time for INEC to demand change about the laws to make it seamless, to make it easier for people.
Isn't that what the online registration is about?
Oh,
INEC introduced.
But it's not complete because whether you like it or not, you still have to go to one polling unit or whatever to complete the registration and to get your card. It doesn't make sense in this.
So you don't finish the whole process
online? You should be able to finish the whole process online. And I will say this, I think it's ridiculous. If anybody could tell me, well, we don't have the connectivity, the coverage all over the country. If Bello Tuji can be uploading videos from the forest in Kebbi, Zamfara, whatever, and if they could remotely post, and this is not me being mischievous, if remotely they could post the video of the lynching and killing of Deborah in Sokoto real time, then we should be able to do this across the country.
But does that cover other areas where there is no coverage? You just
there is hardly no place in Nigeria except some parts of Taraba that is far-flung, that fluctuates between Cameroon and Nigeria. There is no place in Nigeria that you don't have at least one operator that has a service up there. I don't want to give them free adverts, but one will be working.
I hope. Obviously, it's a work in progress, and INEC
So, but if INEC could, if INEC have, people have been clamoring for this since 2019. If INEC is not doing this in 2025, 6 years down the line, do you think people have confidence in INEC to do this the next 10 years?
And the funding is there?
The funding is, I think I've never heard INEC complain of lack of funds. I've never heard INEC complain, and every president has been so generous with INEC when it comes to conduct of elections. They don't, well, on paper, I've never seen INEC crying for funds.
Okay, so let's look at this matter of updating voter information. How does that help to reduce errors for election day?
Well, it's a lot of people have been doing that since 2003. And on election days, you still find that the errors are still there. I think we need to, yes, INEC might not be for sensitivity and for a lot of reasons, might not want us to know the back end or the database management in place, but I think they still need to do more. I think it still boils down to everything should just be seamless. If I can update my data, everything, biometrics and what have you, the comfort of my home, I can always go there to, people move from one state to the other. People change residence even within the states. If I can do that, and there are some parts of, let's use Lagos for example, as an example. There are some parts of Lagos that you think are in Lagos, but you're in Ogun State. Well, Ojodo Abiodun is an instance. Or in Ojodo Abiodun, you find some parts of the right side of the left side of the street is Lagos, the right side is Ogun.
Okay.
So you need to, but these are things that you can be able to address on your own. You get informed or prepared or educated ahead of time, and you probably know what to do about it.
Okay.
And you can still get all this thing done in the comfort of your room, rather than you do it somewhere. You probably need to go to it for local government, because Ojodo Abiodun is not there for local government.
Yeah. To
go tidy up your registration while you reside in Lagos geographically, technically.
Yes, that's just one of the many things that need to be sorted out. Thank you so much for your time, and we appreciate coming on Newsroom Series.
It's nice to be here.
Mr. Adeyemi Saka is a political analyst who joined us live in Lagos.
Yeah.
Much appreciated.
You're welcome.